everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly. It's May 12th, 2023, and this is the show where I give you guys the top 5 prog headlines for the week, introduce you guys to some new prog singles, and just let you know what's going on the channel. And I've taken a few weeks away because of different things going on with work, and you know, me and my wife took a trip last week due to our anniversary, so it's been a little bit of while, and I'm playing a little bit of catch-up with this episode, so you might hear some news items that are a bit old at this point, but I wanted to catch things up and cover anything that happened over the last couple weeks, but hopefully focus more on some of the new stuff. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, I always like to give the plug to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, I do these news features about once a week, at least I try to, as my schedule allows. And it's a lot of fun, and I hope it keeps you guys apprised of all that's going on in the community, and just gives you guys a chance in the comment section to discuss and talk about the latest things happening in the prog world and music world at large, and to contribute your items that maybe I didn't cover yet on the channel. So much appreciated to all the people who are already subscribed. I'm really inching towards 3,000 subscribers, which is exciting. A little bit of a slow crawl, but I'm hoping that it'll get a little bit better with some cool upcoming videos I have planned. So should be a fun time on the channel coming forward. So today, prog news headlines. I have a couple bonus headlines, so it's a bit more than my typical 5, but let's get into it. I feel like I have to start the show talking about Yes, because they're kind of the big name right now of a band that's really active and promoting their new album, which comes out a week from today. They released a single in the interim since before I did my last show, so the track's called All Connected. I'll talk about in the prog singles list. But the prog headline I really wanted to mention was Yes announcing their new Classic Tales of Yes tour dates for 2024. So it looks like the run features 7 dates that have been rescheduled from the band's cancelled 2023 tour, with new shows added at London's Royal Albert Hall and Bristol's Beacon. The new dates will feature a mixture of classic Yes songs, as well as new music from the band's upcoming album, Mirror to the Sky, which comes out, like I said, May 19th, which is a week from today that I'm filming and putting this out. So really exciting time to be a Yes fan. They got some touring on the schedule. Their new album is coming out. I'm going to do a review on it shortly, and probably released on this upcoming Tuesday in my typical new album spotlight spot. So it's a really classic, great album that I think a lot of people will enjoy, as long as you're open-hearted and open-minded to the new lineup of Yes and what they're capable of. You know, realizing that it's not the classic lineup. It doesn't have John Anderson, Rick Wakeman, you know, Chris Squire passed away, unfortunately. Alan White passed away. So a lot of the classic core members are either not part of the group or have passed away, unfortunately. But what we do have is a really good core group that's really doing their best moving forward as a new iteration of Yes. So I'm excited to talk about it. I probably shouldn't dwell on it too long here, but look into those dates for upcoming Classic Tales of Yes tour in the UK if you're so inclined. Should be really fun, and those tickets should be on sale by now. I think they were going to go on sale today at noon, so should be cool. They've had a little bit of a tumultuous time with touring, and you know, with COVID happening, they had to postpone things, and they've kind of reshuffled their tours. They were going to do a Relayer tour, but it just didn't work out that way. So interesting to see them moving forward. And continuing with the touring news, item number 2, the Flower Kings announce a European headlining tour for October. The Flower Kings, I feel, are ramping up to some interesting activity for the second half of the year, so it should be really cool to see them. They should have a new album coming out that they've been teasing. There isn't really any details as of yet, but I hear rumors that it's coming out in the fall, so that should be exciting. Perhaps an epic on the album, which is something a lot of fans have been waiting for and excited about. So that should be cool, and these dates should hopefully be a good way to promote the band and promote the new album. So they've been going through a little bit of lineup shifts, I know. Their keyboardist is unfortunately unable to really join them on these tour dates. Their young keyboardist who's been a part of these last few albums, so they're basically switching membership in terms of that. I believe keyboardist Daniel Lance should be there for their spring and summer dates, and then Lally Larson, who's played with Royna Stolt in many different iterations, should be coming aboard for the autumn dates. So I don't know if either of them are official in the band, but looks like that's their lineup coming forward. Beyond them, there's Royna Stolt, of course, Hasse Froberg, Michael Stolt, and Mirko de Mao joining in that lineup. So it should be cool. They've also been reissuing their entire back catalog, which has been quite a cool project. They came out recently with Paradox Hotel, which I believe is on the wall behind me, an incredible record from their career. And some of No Evil should be coming out very soon. So really exciting to get their albums on vinyl for me as a pretty new vinyl collector. So really exciting stuff. Item number 3, I wanted to announce Frost. They announced a new live release titled Island Live. This is a cool Blu-ray 2 CD set coming out June 19th through Tiger Moth Records. It's available for pre-order now from Frost's site, frost.life, and from other sellers, I'm sure, of different prog materials. The set was recorded at Bath's Comedia in November of last year on the tour of the UK in support of 2021's Day and Age album. The band lineup includes Jim Godfrey, John Mitchell, and Nathan Young, as well as drummer Craig Blundell. So really cool set list there that really spans their catalog and features some newer tracks from their Day and Age album, which I thought was really fantastic. So really cool collection of things going on there, and a cool live release to check out. Another cool live release to check out that was just announced today, Neal Morse Band presents An Evening of Innocence and Danger live in Hamburg, a live recording. This is a live recording of their 2022 tour in support of their most recent studio album, of course. Innocence and Danger was the name of it. This is only on CD, apparently. There's no video component, no Blu-ray or anything like that involved, no vinyl, but I believe it's just in a 3 CD format. But they do have a video out. I'll put it in the Prog Singles list of a track from it, of their cover of Bridge Over Troubled Water, not Bridge Across Forever. That's a different album. So should be a cool package to look into if you're into the Neal Morse Band like I am. Of course, the lineup is Neal Morse, Mike Portnoy, Randy George, Eric Gillette, and Bill Hubauer. So really cool group. They're just on fire. Their latest tour was really evidence of how proficient they are on the live stage. They're just incredible musicians. I've been hearing recently, just as a little bit of an aside piece of news, a little bit about Eric Gillette having some health issues, which was concerning on Facebook, but it appears from updates that he's doing better, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be too serious. So that was a little bit of a concerning piece of news I saw over this past week. Them asking for basically thoughts and prayers for Eric Gillette and what he was going through with different issues personally. But it seems like things are resolved and the doctors are figuring out what was going on. So it seems like that should be okay if that was a situation you were aware of or not. I just thought I'd mention that briefly as I'm talking about Neal Morse Band and their members. So of course, Eric Gillette is the incredible guitarist and singer for the Neal Morse Band, and I believe is working on some cool solo material that is being teased to be really cool. Item number 5, I wanted to mention Voyager. They have some interesting news going on in a couple ways. One way, they announced their new studio album, Fearless in Love. This is an Australian electro-prog metal group that's reaching some acclaim right now. Their new album, Fearless in Love, is going to be released through Season of Mist Records on July 14th. So that should be really cool, and you can check out some singles from it, I believe. Single Prince of Fire is out. Should be cool. This is stuff that was written and recorded between 2020 and 2022. Should be really interesting to see them release some new material and continue forward. But why they're interesting to me is because they're currently part of the Eurovision contest, which I don't know much about Eurovision over here in the States. It's not really something that I hear much about or know much about, but they're apparently participants in Eurovision, and they're getting pretty far. It sounds like they are making it into the grand final on Sunday morning. So competing against 25 other countries. So a really great achievement, especially for a little bit of an obscure prog metal type band, but definitely supporting them and hope they go far in that contest. They have some really great material and definitely worth checking out. And I'll certainly, with all the attention they've been getting, will be checking out this new album upcoming, Fearless in Love. So should be really cool. Some bonus items. I said I had a couple extra things to talk about. UK, they have a live set called Curtain Call, which is getting a remaster and a worldwide release. It was recorded at a concert in Kawasaki, Japan in 2013. The set was a reunion between UK founding members and captures the only ever live performance of both UK studio albums, the self-titled and Danger Money, in their entirety. So Wetton and Jobson were joined by drummer Marco Miniman and guitarist Alex Machasek. Should be a really cool set. Blu-ray DVD, Blu-ray audio, remastered in high-res stereo and 5.1 surround. Features both albums. Really should be a lot of cool material to check out if you're a fan of UK, a really incredible prog supergroup from back in those like late 70s period of prog. So definitely wanted to point your attention towards that one. Also, Steve Hogarth and Richard Barbieri have released an EP. Steve Hogarth, of course, is the main frontman of Marillion, and Richard Barbieri is the keyboardist in Porcupine Tree. So it should be a really cool collaboration. It seems like they worked together back in 2015, released this material on this new EP is based on material that they worked on back in 2015, but they collaborated in 2012 on Not the Weapon but the Hand through K-Scope. So they have collaborated before, and these are just some additional songs written in 2015, 3 songs that they didn't follow up on at the time but are now ready to be released. So that's something, I believe it's on Bandcamp if you're interested in downloading it there. Should be a really cool project and some really cool musicians working together. And then, as you know, not super prog related but music related, I'm always interested in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame news. They inducted quite a few people to the roster here. Kate Bush, Rage Against the Machine, Willie Nelson, and Missy Elliott, along with George Michael and the Spinners, are the inductees this year. There's always a lot of people talking about this because there's certain bands that get snubbed, and that, like, how can that band not be in at this time? Like, people are talking about Iron Maiden. They were nominated but didn't make the cut, which seems wild that a band like Iron Maiden that's so legendary wouldn't be part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then, of course, there's always arguments about, is this rock and roll? Do they deserve to be in a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if they're not strictly rock music? Maybe it would be better to change their name to more of like a music hall of fame, perhaps, so they can be more inclusive to these different artists from different genres. I'm not too nitpicky. I'm not really bothered by it too much, but I just thought I'd mention it because I heard a lot of news going around, people celebrating certain artists that had made the cut, especially Kate Bush. I heard a lot of good excitement for, because she is somewhat of a progressive artist and has reached some prominence lately because of her inclusion of her song in Stranger Things, which brought a lot of acclaim and attention to her. So I thought it's cool that she's getting recognized, and a cool list of artists there who are getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So wanted to mention that briefly, but let's get into the prog singles list because there's some extra items here that I think should be interesting. As I mentioned, Yes's new single, All Connected, is going to be on the prog singles list. It's from their upcoming album, Mirror to the Sky, rather. So it should be, so it's a really cool song. It's the second track from the album, and it's a really good, more gentle type song that really takes you on a journey. So it's a 9-minute track, really cool and well worth checking out. I'm sure most of you have already checked it out by now, but I wanted to make sure it got covered in some fashion. Item number 2 on my prog singles, I've got Peter Gabriel's 4 Kinds of Horses, the newest track from his release that he's doing on the different full moons of the year. So that's the latest one, and it's a really good, strong track. All the tracks have been really strong and point to a really good album that's basically being assembled throughout the year of all these great Peter Gabriel singles. So definitely check that one out. Big Big Train have a live video of their performance of Atlantic Cable. This was recorded, I believe it was recorded last year on tour when they were touring. Recorded live at Friars Waterside Theatre, Aylesbury, UK in September 2022. And the live audio recording is going to be included on their upcoming release, Ingenious Devices, being released June 30th. So a little bit of a teaser for this upcoming album that's a collection of different like live performances and some orchestration, I believe, on it. So no new material really, but a cool holdover with some cool live material. And this is really cool because it showcases their new singer and a little bit of the new lineup of the band. And so it should be a really cool performance to check out. And I know a lot of people speak very highly of them live. So definitely a cool look into their process. Ingenious Devices features 59 minutes of music, including new versions of East Coast Racer, Brooklyn's, and Voyager, featuring an elite 17-piece string section recorded at Abbey Road Studios in London. So that should be really cool. It also includes a previously unreleased orchestral piece called The Book of Ingenious Devices, which links East Coast Racer and Brooklyn's, and this live version of Atlantic Cable recorded in September 2022. So an interesting hodgepodge of things. That should all be excellent music. Those are some of their more beautiful, extended, epic pieces, and so it should be really cool to see them in a different form on this album. Prog Single 4, Neal Morse Band's Bridge Over Troubled Water, live in Hamburg. I mentioned the live set, so I wanted to include the track from the upcoming live album. I also included Gentle Giant's Interview from the upcoming 2023 Steven Wilson remakes. That should be really cool, so you can listen to how the remake sounds on that opening title track. Ray Alder's Waiting for Some Sun is also on my list. Fates Warning vocalist, who is releasing his second solo album called 2 on June 9th on Inside Out Music, so coming up not too far away, about a month away now. So that should be cool to check out. Edward Reekers, The Present Day, is also on my list of prog singles. This is the former Kayak vocalist who's also worked a bit with Arjen Lucassen in the past. And this new album that this track's from is going to be a rock opera, musical, concept album wrapped in a double album featuring an impressive array of guest artists, including Steve Hackett, Arjen Lucassen, Damian Wilson, John J.C. Kuipers, Cohen Hifst, and Cindy Odshern. So should be really cool, a really fun track to listen to get an idea of what the album might sound like. And so the album upcoming will be called The Liberty Project, if I didn't mention that yet. So that is the list of stuff. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of fun things to talk about. I felt like it was a bit rambly. I'm getting back into the mode of doing this, so hopefully it wasn't too scattered. As for the channel itself, I had a review this week, a little bit more of an obscure album. Single Celled Organism is the name of the group, and the album was called Event Horizon, so check that out. It didn't get a ton of views, so it would be really appreciated if you went and checked out the recommendation. Really cool new neo-prog type album that I think a lot of you who like the same kind of music as me would really dig, so that should be something to check out. We should be able to return to our Prog Song Sunday this Sunday. I know we took a break from it last Sunday. Like I mentioned, we were celebrating our anniversary, so we weren't able to record a Prog Song Sunday last week, but there should be one upcoming this week, so look out for that on Sunday. And then I'm going to do a review of the new Yes album, Mirror to the Sky, which should be a lot of fun to dive into because I really am enjoying it, and I think it's a really strong, solid album. And I know there's going to be the detractors, and I know I'm going to see it in the comment section, but I'm really impressed with what the band's doing, and I'm just celebrating good music, without the baggage. So it should be a really fun time to talk about that one. I know the Prog Corner has already gotten his thoughts out there on YouTube, so check him out. He has some really cool things to say about it. He's real excited because he's a massive Yes fan and has a lot to say, so I want to put the plug in for his review. And beyond that, I'm hoping to do a top 5 also this week. Kind of a layup topic. Should be something fun that a lot of you will definitely be contributing to in the comments, I hope. So a good, fun week. I'll leave that one a little bit of a tease. And there should be a lot of really cool, fun, interesting albums to talk about coming up in the future. Please let me know in the comments how you're feeling about the channel and any suggestions, advice also, and just any comments about any of the news items and anything you noticed that maybe I missed in my looking through the news through this past week. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Please enjoy the music out there, whatever you've got going on, whatever you're listening to, and I'll hopefully see you guys in a future video. Bye everybody!